So welcome everyone to our event series at Beyond Talent, קרן לתרבות אמריקה ישראל. We are so excited to have Annekatrin Hentschell with us today, and we'll get to it right away. Anna is of course a presenter with years of experience hosting cultural events and live streams and broadcasts. So without further ado, I'm happy to give you the spotlight, Anna, and we can get started.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hello, everybody. I'm very happy to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm going to share my presentation with you now. Just a second. Okay, can you see it?
Yes, we can see.
Yes. All right. Okay, I'm here today to share a bit of my experience with you, to talk about my work. So, as Gaia said, I'm a presenter. I develop digital formats in the field of classical music. And for various platforms. And yeah, today I would like to give you a few tips based on what I observed and learned and experienced in my work. And we were talking about social media. We will talk a little bit about the media world, storytelling, and interviews. And you probably already know quite a bit, but I hope you can take something new out of it and find some inspiration, get some impulses that would be nice. And of course, I'm also interested in your questions, what concerns you, what you're working on, and stuff like that. Okay, so before we start, I would like to say that I have a European perspective, of course, on everything. I'm working in Germany, I'm working in Munich, so it's really about the European classical music market. I think that's important to say. I don't have a deep insight into the American market, so it's really European focused, also about social media. And what is also quite important, I work for public broadcasting. That means we're funded by public money, by the contributions that people in Germany pay. So that's the budget we work with, and we try to reach as many people as possible in Germany with our work. And as I said, I'm working in the south of Germany, in Munich, and where the international ARD competition is taking place. That's a big part of my work. So maybe some of you might know El Adnawon, who just won the first prize at the ARD competition. Who I was lucky to meet here in Munich. That's just some stuff before we start. And 20 minutes, as Gaia said, and then you can ask your questions. So these are the topics. I would like to start with media in general. What's important to say is that all artists have media potential. That's really important to say. And if you want the media to be interested in you, be interested in the media, which means it's quite important to know what's there, what type of medias there are in this world, magazines, podcasts, and stuff like that. It's important to listen to it, to find stuff that you like, to collect all that stuff, to know why you like it, what you like about it.
And I'm sorry for interrupting. Just making sure you're aware that the presentation isn't showing yet. We see your desktop at this point.
Okay. That's
Also, maybe it's a good time to
interesting.
just clarify. So Anna mentioned that the focus is classical music, but we open this event to all artistic fields as these ideas are more globally relevant to all fields.
Okay, just a second. Okay, thank you. So, as I said, all artists have media potential. That's how I started. And I think it's very important to know media, what's out there in the world, what types of media there are, what magazines, podcasts, TV shows are there about classical music, about culture overall. And to see what you like, what you are interested in, what you like about it, which presenters you like, which artists you like, of course, how they present themselves. I think it's quite interesting to collect all that stuff. I will come back to this later and show you some kind of tools you can work with. And this is the way to reach the right people who are important for you. And not as many as possible, but the right ones. And if you know media, that's much easier. So look for music magazines. We have still have in Europe some very specialized music magazines for different music genres or instruments, or also for dance. There are lifestyle magazines who present new albums in classical music. We also still have daily and weekly newspapers with articles about a premiere at the opera, something like that. Radio, TV, podcasts, newsletters, websites. It's really good to know what's out there, what's interesting, and to find out what you like and what you don't like, and to get inspired by it. Most important thing nowadays is to tell a story, one that already exists, or one that you're still working on, or that you can find about what you're doing, about your art. Timing is always crucial. So our daily work has a certain workflow, certain routine. We cannot react in a few days. If you have a new album, for example, or some new music you want to share with media, you have to send it quite early, at least like 2 months or something before. So what happens a lot in my daily working life is that I get an email, and young artists are asking me, can you do something on the radio? I have a concert in 2 days. Can you present it on air? And this isn't possible. So timing is really crucial to keep in mind, that we need time to work on this stuff. And if you want to work with media, it's always important to be prepared, as I said, to know who are you talking to, what kind of media is it, what do they need, what could be interesting about you. This also means to be professional. What is also interesting is the stuff we create on media is something you can use for your own channel. So when we talk about social media later, it's always interesting to take some sentences out of an article or something and use it in your own channel. I have a little press material checklist for you that you need if you send something. A text, a long and a short version. It should be an open document so we can copy it, we can work with it. Photos are really, really important, portrait and landscape. So here I put album. I know that not everyone has an album, but it can be a new video. It could be a concert. It could be something that's happening and we should talk about. Like a prize, if you got a prize or something. So then we always need a picture. And if you send video or music, it should be quite easy for us to listen to it or to look at it. So it should be just one link, and if I click on the link, the video's there, the audio's there. It's always, if it's too complicated and we need like 3 or 4 clicks, I know that colleagues do not open it if it's too difficult. It should be as easy as possible, like a SoundCloud or Dropbox link. That's something that works. It doesn't have to be something expensive like a tool or so, but if you use Dropbox or SoundCloud or something like this, this is already, this is very helpful for our work. This is a short overview. And when we talk about interviews, I thought this could be interesting for you. It's also very important to look at the different situations an interview can take place. At the radio, the TV, there could be an interview for a podcast or for print. And these are really different situations you have to handle. So we have in print a podcast, it's more a free conversation. You have more time. You have the chance to approve what the journalist writes about you. You can ask for it. You should do it in advance. And then for TV and radio, it's important to ask whether it's live or whether it's recorded. This makes a huge difference, of course, when it's recorded. it's also produced, which means maybe they will broadcast just some parts of it or the whole interview. They can take out parts that didn't work that well, or they just use the bits you said. Sometimes they also use the questions the journalists ask, so they are very different situations. Interviews can be used in media. And for TV, of course, it's really important to get prepared with makeup and outfit, because it makes a huge difference. Also to feel comfortable in the situation, to sit in the right place, and also in the right place on the chair. All this makes a huge difference. And I can just recommend that you take your time to find the right situation, the right place where you feel comfortable. In a TV interview, it's also quite important not to look in the camera. Usually you're talking to the journalist. It's also something you have to learn. These are some things you can keep in mind when it comes to an interview situation. I also have some basics for you for interview situations. It's an opportunity to tell your story, so use it. What do you want to communicate? It's really important to prepare that. How do I want to be seen? Take your time to think about it. And also, you can also try this. You can also practice this stuff with friends, with a mentor, or with parents, however. With an aunt, with a sister, whatever. Try it. Try to find your story. Record everything. Listen to it. That's the most important advice I can give you. That's where you can really learn. To get better. It's just by doing it, doing it as often as you can. And even it's not a real situation, you can really practice this. I also have like an exercise I can give you. Yeah, just and anticipate really possible questions that the journalists can ask, and think about the answers, and where are potential conflicts and how do I address them when it's the case. Um, as I said, that's where I have. Okay, this is the exercise I was talking about. We have you can have person A, the artist, and person B, the reporter, and you as the artist, you tell your story, like a short success from the last 2 or 3 months or from the recent years, and the other person is the reporter who asks questions, especially about you achieved something, and then if you record it, you can filter out the potentials and the abilities and summarize what's special about it, and then you're really good prepared for presenting it and to find the story you want to tell, whether it's in an interview or in social media or in a text or whatever. Some more tips for interviews. Really, as I said, take your time, arrive calmly, set up the situation, the optimal speaking. If it's for radio, test the microphone, and you can ask about this. Really, take your time, take your room, and ask your questions. Really important is to drink a lot. Maybe you've already listened to an interview where you have this sound. It's always like this. And then this means you didn't have enough water before. And this is really annoying if you listen to this all the time, to this sound. It's really important to drink enough before the interview. It's also important, that's why I said know the media, know the journalist you're talking to, and then you can also think about the target audience, about the people who are listening, who are watching the program. And as I said, that's why it's important to prepare for the medium, for the journalists, to know who are you talking to in this interview. Self-motivation is allowed. I think it's very important to like yourself, to be comfortable with your role in such a situation. And if something happens, I always say press reset in case of of mishaps and demotivating events. And so just say it happened, but now we look forward, stay positive. This is really important. It's also important to make points in your sentences. Don't always stay on top with your voice. This is also important because if we produce interviews and we take just a few bits out of it, just a few sentences, it's much easier to cut when you make a point, when you go down with your voice at the end of the sentence, just like I did. And it's also easier to listen to it from the point of the audience. As I already said, record yourself. This helps so much also to identify some habits you might have when you're talking. And this is also about TV. Observe and control your posture, facial expressions, and gestures. This is very interesting. But this also happens if you make videos of yourself, if you record yourself for social media. That's also where you can observe what you're doing and learn from it. Yeah, the language we can use. This is also quite general for social media, for interviews, for everything about media. I think it's very important to use active language. So active rather than passive phrasing, always to think about your audience, to talk to your audience, to engage your audience. That's the most important point. That's why you're doing all this, because you want to reach an audience that wants to see what you're doing, wants to listen to your music and stuff like that. I would recommend to be direct, to say, I think, not I would do this, I would say, I would think. Put it in direct words. That's much more powerful. Avoid empty phrases. I don't know whether this really exists it's a bit difficult because, German is my first language, and we have a few words that people use a lot, so much that it becomes annoying. And it's really important to observe this and to avoid it. It's something like a lot of yeses and well and good and so. I hope you understand what I'm meaning. It's a bit difficult from one language to the other. And in general, I can recommend be brave with short sentences. One thought, one sentence. That works pretty well in media. You can imagine when you listen to the radio or to a podcast, there are a lot of things you're doing at the same time. You're cooking or something, or you're cleaning up your apartment or stuff like that, and you're just listening with like one ear, and language has to be short and clear and direct to get it quite quickly. Be brave with pauses. As I said, it's also with the points. Also take your breaks. Breathe, that's important. Be brave with simplicity. And as we say in German, it's especially radios like cinema for the ears, create pictures. That sounds very beautiful. If you find nice pictures for what you're doing. I wanted to share one video, so I would just go out here and share another window because we also need the audio. Just a second. So this is something.
Anna, we can't hear you. You're muted.
Scheiße. You know why this happens? This is when I share the audio on the browser. This is why I can only use Zoom in the browser. I don't have the app, which is not working here. And when I share the audio, then I'm muted. That's the problem. So I will talk first, and then I can share the interview. I'm sorry, it doesn't just working this way. Okay. So what did you hear? I talked about Simon Rattle. Did you hear this? No. I have to repeat it, right? This is an interview that was broadcasted like 2 weeks ago because our orchestra was on tour in Great Britain and France and Spain, which is the Symphonieorchester des Bayerischen Rundfunks, the Bavarian Radio Symphony Orchestra with the conductor Sir Simon Rattle. And I just wanted to show you this interview because it's just a very, very good example how they do it, the way they speak to each other. It's close, it's personal, on equal footing, and I wanted to show that classical music, or when we talk about it, it doesn't have to be stiff or conservative. I really like the way they talk to each other, even though he's one of the most famous conductors in the world right now. That's what I wanted to show you. And I share now, and I hope that it works. Okay.
It's 12:24. It's BBC Radio Merseyside. It has been a year since he was last on these Liverpool shores, but he's here tonight with his new orchestra, the Bavarian Radio Symphony Orchestra. They're here from Munich at the Philharmonic Hall. 50 years to the day that Sir Simon Rattle, now their conductor, was in the audience as a young man watching them. He's with us now as a slightly older man, but still looking great. Good to see you, Sir Simon.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for coming in. How often do you get back to Liverpool?
Well, not often enough, as I realise, because actually there's no biological family left.
Yeah.
But yesterday, Sandra from the Phil organised for when I came on the car from the Manchester airport. I suddenly realised, just a minute, we're going past all my old haunts. And it started, I was, we're near Childwell. Oh, it's the Five Ways. Oh, it's Queen's Drive. Oh, it's the house I grew up in. Oh, it's the school I went to. Oh, it's Penny Lane. Oh, this was where my piano teacher was. And I realised she hadn't told me.
Wow.
But she'd asked the driver. He said, just take him on this route. And it was, I have to say, from this 25 minutes I realised it till I got to the Hope Street Hotel, incredibly emotional. And of course, like, every step has a meaning. And like, even going past the school sports fields, I mean, horrible things and amazing things there, but it comes back and it hits you like one of those horses with the huge hooves. Yeah. So
it never leaves you, does it?
Well, it really doesn't. And you hear the accent. Of course, some of my orchestra say, but are they actually speaking English? I said, oh, yes, they really are. Yeah. But it's a whole other thing.
Well, you can still understand it because the accent has changed over the decades. Still a Liverpool accent, but if you listen to a Liverpool accent from the 60s and 70s, it's different now.
Yes.
It's the same but different, if you know what I mean.
Yes, but it's got that, it still has that kind of welcoming thing. And, Germany is famous for many things, but this immediate, open, cheery friendliness is not the first thing you would come across there. And it's, of course, the band here say, but everybody's lovely. And, I want to say, yes, they are, but isn't that just normal?
Do you live in Berlin? Are you
I live in, home is Berlin.
Home is Berlin.
And I go, but it's...
I'm going to stop here, but just to get a short glimpse. I mean, it's also Sir Simon, the way he's talking. That's always interesting. I come back to the other presentation. Okay, I would like to talk also a little bit about social media. This is also from a classical music perspective, or of course, based on my experiences at BR Classic, but also with the ARD International Music Competitions. A few tips for you. Be authentic. I know we often say it, but it's the key. I would say, do what you do best. your music, your dance, whatever you do, your compositions, whatever you do. And most important thing, show the emotion that's behind your art. I think I know it always needs a lot of time you have to spend with social media, but it's important to develop consistent, recognizable formats and stick with them over a longer period of time. So yeah, as I said, do what you do best, what you enjoy, what you're good at, and what you feel comfortable with. And then just try, experiment, find the 1 minute that presents you in the best way for the platform you choose. So many labels and agencies are essentially scouting on social media platforms. That's what's happening a lot nowadays. I know from Sony, for example, they're looking, maybe you know the cellist Anastasia Kubikina. She was found on TikTok by Sony Classical. That's what we do as well with the International Music Competition. We also had a look on the different accounts to see what people are doing, what they're interested in, if they are interested in social media, what kind of formats do they have, how to present themselves. It's really important to show yourself there. I know it's a lot of work and it doesn't have to be that much. And I think if you found something for yourself and you make a good plan with it, you can do it on a regular basis without spending too much time on it. It's important to have a plan. Otherwise, you won't do it and won't be able during the day when you have to practice your instrument, your music, your art. And just get started. Don't be perfect. Just try it with the community you have. And then maybe the point comes where you break through and reach to a new audience. And of course, what is also important, interact with others, comment other channels, see what you like, follow other artists, share their content, and also find collaborations for your own stuff. So I can share the presentation afterwards with you. We don't have that much time, but here's some examples of reels and stuff that works for us. Sometimes it's in German, might be a bit difficult, but I think the musical content you will understand. But here is like I summarized what works for us. That's virtuosity, solo artistry, something that's sparking debate. Something like, what's your favorite choir music, or your favorite summer music, or something like that, and things that have a weird factor. And you can find some examples in here if you want to have a look at it later. I also summarized for you the different platforms. I won't go through it right now, but if you need a look, probably you know a lot about all of this, but I thought it could be nice to summarize it for you so you can use it afterwards. It's always what's the platform about, and like a little how-to, what can I do there, what works pretty well on this kind of platform. I have Facebook, I prepared Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for you, and also some TikTok stuff you can find. And I wanted to show you something else, which helps to find your story, some kind of tools we use. What I can recommend is like creating a mood board. I can show you something. So this is from a young cellist. I think when you're working, when you're trying to find your story, what you want to tell about yourself, how you want to present yourself, this is a nice way to collect stuff. What kind of colors do I like? What kind of inspiration? It could also be architecture or fashion or something like that, but also pictures of other artists, and to collect this stuff. You can also collect it on Instagram, of course, or TikTok. If you save this stuff, this is really interesting to find some kind of look or storytelling for yourself. So this is just an example. And also, I'm working for a foundation where we run a summer academy for young artists. And I wanted to show you how we work there. Maybe you know this. This is in German, but you can see the different points we're working on. You have this kind of some research they have done, some kind of research what genres are interesting for me, what kind of partners to collaborate with, what festivals could be interesting for me, and they do this research. Recherche is called research, and also try to find some pictures that show what's interesting for them, what kind of world and colors and stuff like that, and collect it, and also to think about the audience that could be interesting for you. Who do you want to talk to reach in your concerts, in the art you are doing? So this is just a short glimpse of a word of this is a viola player, for example, also originally from America. And then after all this research, to try to find your mission, or to write it down, and it's not necessary to find a mission that's for for years, but it can change over the time. You can change it, you can work on it. But I think it's very helpful to write something down, to have some sentences you can work on. So this is just an example. Here also with some colors. This was for a website. Quite interesting to look at it, just for you to get some inspiration. And this is also where she collected her research, and where she tried to write down her mission and her image and the way she wants to communicate. This could be quite helpful, and you can do it for yourself. Okay, thank you very much. That's it for the moment. A lot of stuff. Yeah, I'm sorry for the technical problems with the Zoom. I hope you could see everything, and you can have the presentation afterwards.
Thank you. Yeah, we'd love to share that afterwards. So yeah, now we're opening it up to your questions. So you're welcome to share it in the chat or by raising your hand. I see a question from Didi. Didi, would you unmute yourself? The mic symbol. Let me see if I can.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Thank you very much for the information and the presentation, but I just wonder if you can provide us with specific contacts we can contact them in order to make a progress, because that was very general.
Yeah.
And as she's very familiar and in the German media, would like to have, if she could share it with us.
You mean like what kind of media we have here and persons you could contact, or what do you mean exactly?
No, to contact, for instance, in the TV shows, could you provide us with a specific contact of TV
I mean, we
channels?
we are a huge country. It's not easy to say I'm working for the south of Germany, but there's also, we have like that's a lot. That would be like 100 contacts. So I would need something specific.
I appreciate that, but because I'm
Okay.
in England, but maybe because we're not familiar in the the German media, it would be very appreciative if you can at least provide us with a few contacts that we can start our journey.
But then I would need to know a bit more exactly what you need. Is it just about classical music? Is it about jazz? Is it about culture in general? I mean, there are really a lot of different contacts, and is it about concerts? Is it about albums?
I see.
That's huge. I would need several days to put this together. I'm sorry, but if you have something, like a precise question, what you need, then I can help you. If it's
I would be interested to perform in Germany. I actually performed a few years ago there. I'm a classical guitarist, but I do some. And I write arrangements and write my own music, but I deal with other instruments like fusion with.
Lydia, I'm so sorry to interrupt. Just
Okay,
because this doesn't apply to all the rest of the group, let's keep it for later. We can email about it, and we'll do our best to help with that.
Oh, so maybe she can just email us something.
Okay, so we will continue this after the event, but I see we have a question from Nofal who's been waiting. Nofal Jacobi.
Yes, hi, hello.
Hello.
First of all, thank you very much for this. And so one of the things that I have faced during all the career, I am a classical singer, opera singer, and I imagine it's also other people are facing that, but many times, even though you reach out and you reach out to many people, you're being many times ignored, like no one is even responding. So it might be that they're very busy, it might be they're not interested, it might be that it's going to the spam. There are many reasons that could be there, but that's, for example, something that I would love to hear because you're on the other side of that. What is the best way, in your opinion, for an artist to really get the chance to even, talk with someone and see if it could be relevant? Because I feel that's before all of the
I know
things about how to do an interview, how to even get to that.
That's before, I know. Yeah, that's still quite complicated also in Germany. It's often with the right contacts, to know someone from an agency who calls me or writes an email and says, hey, there's someone, have a look at it. Or I find you on social media. It happens more often. So we really look through it, and also we're looking for young artists. The thing is, with us, we have a special format for young artists. This is very special also in Germany. We had a radio show for several years just to present young artists. And that was quite famous in Germany, because it doesn't happen that often. These cultural programs usually concentrate on stars. It's difficult, but we have this, and everybody knew there's this contact I can write, and I'm always trying to answer these mails. But everything's changing now, as we don't have a radio show anymore, and everything is in the digital world, and then we're still trying to find out how we can still promote young artists. But this is really difficult. I think you have to find someone who puts in a good word for you. That's the best way to do it. Like someone who says, "Oh, she's interesting." That's still the best way. And someone who knows who knows a lot of how do you say? I can't find it, the right word. The people who make the programs in the opera house, who are responsible. It's just about the network, and you have to find someone who has the right network. I think that's still the best way. And I really think, as I said, to be present on social media with what you're doing with your music, so that somebody can find you. And that doesn't mean you have that you have to have this amazing reach, but just to be there. And when I look it up, it's also like Google. TikTok and Instagram is also like Google. And if I look it up, and if I type in your name, then I have to find something. Yeah, you have to be there, and I have to see. I have to get an impression and a feeling of what you're doing. That's what I can say. But I know it's really difficult to get in contact, and I know opera is really difficult, even to get an answer. Yeah.
No, that's why I was wondering because what you said I appreciate very much, and I know that having a personal contact is always, it's
still the way.
I'm wondering if still, for example, if you would receive a message that has maybe, I don't know what, that's why I'm asking, but maybe that is not just general, what would make you reply to that person, even though you don't know them and you don't have personal contact with them?
Yeah. So what's really important is a good text. The text, it has to be like the catching phrase. It has to start with something where I think, oh, that's something I should read. So, and that's what you have to work on. That's what I said, to find your story, that's part of it. And also like a slogan, a motto or something like that, to get it out of the story you want to tell. What's special about you? Why should I listen to the music you're sending me? Why should I look at the video? And this starts like when I open the email and I read like the first sentence or the first line under your address. What's it about? That's what it has to get me.
Yeah.
And then of course it's the material you have. And I also know that it's really difficult to have good material, like good videos, and it needs time to get the stuff, also money to have it. Yeah, it's not that easy. But a good text, it's already something. Yeah.
So we have a question that follows that up from Hentschell Chaim, asking how important is it to use all the popular social media to reach audiences or
Yeah.
so.
You don't have to use all of it. You have to, I think the thing is, you should find your platform, the one where you feel most comfortable. You know, it's, I mean, there are huge differences. You can find it also in the presentation. TikTok is this is so quick. I think Instagram is still a really good platform to really show your music and what's special about you. You have more time to show it. It's about the look. Yeah, I can recommend this. TikTok has really something so special, and it's hard to produce. It's so fast and so quick. And I think Facebook and Instagram is still more interesting for classical music. And you can use, if you have video material, I know not that easy. And if you use YouTube for the longer versions, you can use Instagram for the short versions. That could be quite interesting to work and to link from one platform to the other. But you don't have to be like everywhere. Choose your platform, the one that's most useful, most helpful for you. You don't have the time to do everything. So choose one to start with. Yeah.
I don't know, might you have maybe 5 minutes more so we can cover a
Yeah,
couple
it's okay.
questions?
That's okay. Yeah.
Oh, great. Thank you. So we have a question from Dana, who's raising her hand. So you're welcome to.
I also had a follow-up question from Nafal's question, also about the social media. Just a clarification. You mentioned that it's important. I'm wondering if you look people up once you receive their emails and then decide whether it's like worth your time of day, or do you like actually scout on social media?
We scout. Things we find, we share them in our channel. And so it depends on what we're searching for, but we're really looking. We're looking for it with hashtags and stuff. And we're a huge team of young journalists, and they are all using social media, and we all find something that's interesting, and we share it with each other and try to work with it. Also for our podcast, we have a podcast about classical music, about a lot of different topics, and that's also on social media where we find our guests or trends and stuff like that we want to talk about.
Can I ask what hashtags you look for?
I can send you some, but it's like the general stuff: classical music, opera, what you can think of, what's obvious. It's not very special or something.
All right. We have, I think, time for a last question from Amir Spielman.
I thank you, Galia, for organizing this, and thank you so much. Wonderful guest.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Clearly, we are, Annekatrin, we are not in easy times right now for this group of artists because of their identity, our identity. I'm a classical music composer. I also create large-scale multimedia artworks. I had a big piece in Nuremberg on the Nazi Party rally grounds back in May. It was actually covered by really nicely, but it was also covered by others, and there was a very hurtful article by Seismograph about the piece. A piece that is it's called Army of Love, and it was just about connecting people actually and doing good in the world and messages of peace and things like that, what art can do on a very charged historical place. But they immediately took it into the whole Gaza war topic, and an Israeli artists in Germany, and the Germans must support and like and support, even though it's something no one should do right now. It was very hurtful. I got some bad reviews in the past, which is a good thing, because bad reviews are actually provocative and meaning like you have actually moved someone deeply. I think for composers, it's good to get bad reviews. But this one was not a bad review. It was just a hurtful one. In my opinion, anti-Semitic.
Okay.
How would you suggest us specifically to this group deal with this in these times? And often I get, recently I had a piece in the Deutsche Oper am Rhein, and there's always this question: should we mention Israeli on the note? We don't want riots in the performance. Should we? There's always this like fine line.
This is a tough one, yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's also about the right partners, I think. So right now we have a few festivals who concentrate on this topic. Also in art here in Munich, there's a festival right now with a strong community. They know how to handle it. And I think it's also about the right partners. And I know it must be difficult to find them, yeah, because this is real research. But I can send you something. There's, for example, in the summer, there's Bad Kissingen. That could be interesting for you. I mean, the program is already made, but that's how you can find out where you have where you could have a strong partner who's able to manage it, who has a strong community management, also when it's about social media, where you get such comments and how to handle it and what to answer. I mean, that's what you need. You need support. You cannot do it for yourself. You cannot handle it alone. So you need someone who's prepared to stand up for you. And of course, that's difficult to know who's there, yeah, who wants to do this, who's prepared to do it, and to show strength and so on. I can give a general answer to this. I'm sorry, but I can send you a few interesting like contacts or festivals who could be.
Thank you.
Could be something.
Thank you very much.
That's the only thing I can say right now. Yeah.
It's a much bigger conversation. I don't want to take the entire time, but maybe we connect another way. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. And Galia, it's okay if we take another question. I'm okay. I still have time.
Sure?
It's really no problem. If it's no problem for you, I have time until.
Oh, fantastic. So yes, I see we have another question. So it would be great. Thank you so much. So Jill, would you like to ask your question?
Amir brought up actually what I wanted to ask, because I just spoke with me and my husband were dancers. My husband was born deaf, and we're ambassadors of culture and acceptance for the Israeli Foreign Ministry. And I just spoke to the Israeli consulate in New York and to someone there, and he asked me not to write, to send out all my information, but not to write that we're from Israel. And I said, oh, that's very difficult, because we always represent Israel. But the main thing in my world is that art, and I guess we're all artists here, is exactly the thing that will break all these barriers, and there's no limitations, and it's so anti-political. And I think that's the beauty of the voice. So, but I wanted to ask the same question exactly that Amir presented, because I just had this issue come up.
Mm-hmm.
And also because he's disabled and he's a dancer.
Mm-hmm.
Also, disabilities breaks all barriers. We performed a while ago for Muslim kids that are deaf and disabled. So
mm-hmm.
the disability and also the art world, I think there's no barriers, and
Mm-hmm.
I think it's our job to take down these barriers and show the beauty of art.
Yeah, I think it's also our mission for public broadcasting. Yeah, that's what we try to do. I can only tell you with the ARD International Music Competition, we had in the final, we had a lot from Israel, we had a Russian clarinet player and one from China. And this was such an important sign just to show it. I mean, not everybody wants to talk about it, I know. And when I do an interview, I'm always asking, is it okay for you to talk about it? Is it okay to if I ask you a political question? And it's also the way we ask. But I try to be very careful. But this is what we can show on stage, and this is the important sign. That's what we need to do. But in the end, this is the thing where we are very international. We are always international. We're working for Germany, but we're working with international artists, and this is what we have to show: the broad range and bring everyone together. And that's what we had there. That's what I want to do. That was a really important moment this year, I have to tell you. But it's really difficult to answer your questions. So in general, this is. I'm also careful to
a very complicated subject. I have a question from Yotam Ishai. Yotam, would you like to come up and ask?
Yes. Hi. Thank you, Galia. Thank you, Annekatrin. So I try to focus the question, not have it too general.
Yeah.
I'm a pianist and composer, and I'm between the classical and the jazz worlds. This is what we just discussed is a kind of very it makes sense for me. I feel like, especially since, I had this idea to make an album dedicated to Israeli, mostly Jewish songs, and to do my arrangements of them. And my thought initially was, oh, this is going to be a tough sell right now. And what I've heard for some people, it's oh, this is actually an easier sell because you are direct, they're communicating to a specific niche, right? And I've been working hard on promoting that album, and I know my people in the US. I live in New York, and I know my people in Israel. And regarding, I have heard a lot that oh, people will tell you, oh, your music will do a lot really good in Europe. And because I'm between the classical and the jazz, I wanted to ask you what's kind of a good strategy to come with for communicating myself, because I'm not someone who's going to play a Mozart concerto. It's I can, but it's not my thing.
But you're looking for jazz clubs and places where jazz, or is it not really jazz? Is it something in between, or?
It really is between. It sometimes can. Oh, maybe I'm improvising it, but it actually sounds like classical music.
Yeah.
I don't know, kind of a Keith Jarrett kind of vibe, but my own.
But would you present yourself as a jazz musician? Would you say you're a jazz musician, or how would you present yourself? If I like now, I'm meeting you for the first time, what would you say? Yeah.
Yes, I would say I'm a jazz musician, who, my idol was Debussy, So for me, it's a really between, right? It's I'm very far from the opera. I compose classical music as well. But because, it's they, I don't know, other composers were at the time, and they were also improvisers. So as someone with that kind of function, like I'm wondering what a good strategy to communicate it to.
Yeah, this profile becomes more and
people.
more interesting in Europe. This that you're writing your own music, but you're also performing it, and you're like between the worlds. This is more and more interesting. This is not really thinking in genres. Like this is classical, and this is becoming really interesting. And there are a lot of agencies who are working with it. And then it's really about the story. It's not about the music, but it's difficult to find the right locations. But it's growing. It's becoming more and more interesting here. But then it's also about the right network to know the right locations you should address. Yeah, that's something you need. You need the connection to someone who can tell you.
Yeah.
But I could send you some agency contacts and like texts that could be interesting for you, where artists like you are promoted, how they do it, how they explain it, how they put it into words, if this helps you. But in Germany, this is not unusual. This is pretty interesting right now, this kind of profile. Yeah. And also, I could imagine that that also our jazz clubs would be interested in your program, the German jazz scene. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love
Which
to.
you can contact directly. This is still, jazz is quite flexible. This is really still the place where you can write an email with your stuff and send it to them. Yeah. But yeah, you can. I mean, also it's okay if Galia, if there are a few more questions after this where I can help, we can do it. We can write an email, so it's okay. I can try to help. Yeah.
Do you mean after the
Yeah. This is okay. Yeah. If there are a few questions.
Great. So thank you so much for today. Thank you for sharing all these insights with us. I know it was very fast, but we got overview, and my apologies to the people who didn't get to ask all of their questions, but you're welcome to email me, and if we can help in any way, we will try to do that. So thanks again, Anna. And
thank you. It's great to be here.
Thank you, everyone.